I have a really strong vision about what we need to do in independent pharmacy, and I'm frustrated, like a lot of us are.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to do with, I've been on the speaking circuit now that we're back in, face-to-face shows, which I love, and that just really energizes me and gives me motivation. But I talk a lot about, we're all really good operators, and we're really good at workflow and compliance and legal and all that stuff. We have that locked in. Mm-hmm. But not many of us focus on or are good at or invest properly in sales and marketing of our pharmacies. And so I like to think of it as two completely different departments in your business, because this is a business. You have your workflow and your operations, and then you have your sales and marketing. And most pharmacies don't. They don't have, and I'm like, who runs your sales and marketing division? And who do you, are you out as the pharmacy owner when I consult with them? Are you out repping and talking to doctors and letting everybody know all the services? And that's kind of extreme, right? Doctor detailing, and that's daunting, but all marketing, that's physical marketing, but how's your digital marketing? How's your website? You probably do 80 different services in your pharmacy, products and services and specialties. Are they all listed on your website? Every single one of them? Do you have landing pages for all of them? Are you doing social media posts with call to actions? Do you have handouts and flyers? Do you have a strategy? And I'm not perfect at it. It's never done. It's never good enough. So that part's kind of frustrating. You're never done with marketing. But, I don't care whether you're selling pizzas or hats or you own a pharmacy. You have to have a sales and marketing strategy and plan, and you have to be hitting it hard all the time, because how many times do we hear in my own store, oh, I didn't know you guys did that.
Right.
Or I didn't even know you were here. Or I didn't know. And that's so frustrating, because how do we get in front of that? And you'll never be fully there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it starts with they have to get out of the pharmacy, right? They have to figure out what it takes, whether it's a half day a week to start off with. They got to get out, right? They have to.
You do.
You have to
but
know.
But it's outside of your comfort zone too.
Well, then you're in the wrong business probably, right? Because you've got to, for independent pharmacy to succeed, they have to be this flexible group that solves problems.
Right.
And every community is going to have different problems to solve. The people we talk to on here that are successful are involved in their community's coming to them and asking them to solve problems. Right. They're talking to the people at public health know who they are. Right. And they're not necessarily going in, some of the things that,
they're making relationships with, like not just the doctor's office, but the nursing homes, like Eric Larson. He's a great example of that. We were visiting his pharmacy when he got a call for, hey, I've got COVID vaccines for you. Can you pick them up and dish them out today? And he goes, cool. I know just the nursing home to go straight to with them. And so.
Well, and that was because of his relationship with public health. Yeah. Public health couldn't get it done. They had stuff back and they said, we need some way to get this done. Hey, this guy's been in here saying, can I help you? Let's call him and see if he can help us. And that's and I love that, and that's, one thing that when marketing, people are so often want to be, when they start trying it, okay, well, let me go around talking about me. Let me go around with my brochure that has the 20 services that I have or the 40 services that they have, and let me overwhelm them with blah, 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 when really they need to come in, with the pie or whatever. But really they need to be going in with, hey, I'm independent like you. I'm in healthcare like you. Down the street down here. What problems are you having? You got problems that I can solve, and really listening and then saying, oh, well, we have this thing that might do that. Or just saying, wow, that's interesting. And going back and brainstorming and coming back and saying, hey, I think we've come up with something, how much even cooler than that? Even if you had something in your list, not pulling it out at that time. Going back and waiting until you come back the next time and say, hey, I talked to Dr. and so-and-so about a week ago, and I think I have a solution to this problem or a way I can help.
Yep, that's exactly right. And, since so many pharmacists and pharmacy owners are perfectionists, and they like to have all the answers, a lot of times they'll get in their own way.
Right.
Just like you said, they'll say, oh, I'm fixing to go out there and I'm fixing to go market, but I need to get all my materials right. And I need to get all no, just go out and talk and ask them questions. Exactly like you said. You guys know that we have Jen Raleski who works with us. She's our Eli Lilly trained pharma rep. And it's so funny. She's been, actually Atrium turns 3 on Monday. So the consulting firm, Atrium 24, will be 3 years old.
Congratulations.
In a couple days here. Yeah, thank you. And so Jen's been with us almost the whole time. And her coming from pharma, I learned so much just by picking her brain and understanding, like, how did Lilly teach you? And what did they teach you? And what kind of technology did they give you? And what were the metrics? And how did they determine, like, your territory and your goals and your messaging and just all the things? It's so fascinating. And it's funny, we even made it a verb. You just need to go and Jen Raleski them, which means ask them a bunch of questions.
Right. Yep.
So like me, I don't know if it's because I'm a pharmacist or if it's just my personality type, but it makes me kind of uncomfortable to go up to someone I don't know and ask them a lot of questions. I'm more comfortable, like you said, talking about myself and even making fun of myself. Like, I don't care, but I don't know. It just feels a little off to me to go and ask questions, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah, that's surprising because every time we see you at PDS, you're like, hey, I got a question. Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, it seems to me.
Because I know you guys.
It would seem to me that it would be scarier to feel like I needed to be prepared with, practice in the mirror, other than just, hey, just go talk. Just go ask them.
Yeah.
How can you help them? Maybe
that's why pharmacy owners are scared because they think they have to have it perfect. Right. And, they're not just going to pop out. They're going to want to have the whole plan. Well, let me plan out my marketing structure for the rest of the year. Yeah. It's like, just go.
Yeah, I think that's it. You just need to go. Start with making an appointment at your local public health, right? And go down and sit down and talk to them and say, hey, what problems can we solve?
I did want to try to at least drop a trial balloon on what I think is next for me.
Okay, do it.
So, to the topic of this conversation, I am an advocate for pharmacies marketing.
Okay.
And, I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a MBA, but I understand a little bit about the importance of marketing. And first thing is marketing and advertising are too confused, and marketing is bigger than that. But the one thing I heard, and I think it's more true than not, is trying to teach a pharmacist to be a marketer is like putting a round peg in a square hole. And it's just not in the nature of most of these people. They're selected to go to pharmacy school because they're very, very detail-oriented, task-oriented, and God bless America, because that's what I want, putting my pills in my bottles. But the point that I would make is you may not be the marketer, but you can hire one. And chances are that person is already working for you in your pharmacy. So the ability to get a technician or a clerk to get out of the store and go do these things.
Good, yeah.
Many times is more practical than getting the pharmacist out. So just for example, what we've talked about is I can send my technician out to do stuff on Thursday afternoon between 2 and 4 when it's the slow time. The real problem arises is, I talk to pharmacists all the time who've tried to do doctor detailing and they never got a referral. Well, the problem is, what are you saying and doing when you go call on the doctor?
Yeah, they're having good coaching.
If you're going to the doctor's office and saying, hey, send me prescriptions, that's not effective. So you have to go in and talk about a patient, about a program, about a process, about something that you do that will help the doctor and the doctor's offices, and, doing, pre-approvals for drugs that have been rejected, or some of those things that I know people get talked about. So my dream, and it is a dream, not a plan, is to create something called the Independent Pharmacy Marketing Institute.
Okay.
And it would be an organization that would be developed to help the person in the pharmacy who is the part-time marketer interact with other people who are doing those same kinds of things, and share ideas, and get experience and get uplifted.
Just coaching.
So you talk about connect. I'd like to build a meeting with 900 pharmacy technicians who also have marketing as part of their job description.
Interesting. Yeah, and so what's cool about what you said is and Mark Bivens and I, our VPSL, were talking this morning, and he says, "Oh yeah, but this thing I'm about to say is sales 101. Everybody knows that." And I was like, "Yeah, it's like common sense. Common sense isn't common." And
that's right.
And where we feel so you went in three directions. You went, "Hey, they shouldn't go in and just say, 'Hey, we're the pharmacy down the street. Could you send us your business?'" Then the next step toward what they should be doing is you might say, "Hey, I'm here. I want to talk about patient X." And that's interesting.
Yeah.
But the pinnacle is to walk in and say, "Hey, we're the pharmacy down the street. What problems do you have that we can help with? What are you struggling with?" Right?
I'm going to steal that, Jeff, because that's right.
Because that's exactly. Hey, we're here. We're trying to do more in our community. What problems do you have that we can help with? And that's it. And that's what, Eric Larson, and you remember him because we physically visited him, but there's lots of our pharmacies are like that. That's their MO. They're just running around town.
Yep. Amina does it.
Amina's built tons of businesses pieces just by going around and saying, "What are you struggling with? What can we help you with?"
Well, I think Amina walked in with more of like a force of, "Hey, so you realize you're supposed to be doing these things and you get paid for it, but I can put a pharmacist here and we'll do these clinicals for you and we'll take 20%.
Yeah, once they say what their problem is, but let you solve their problem. Too often, as Marcia and I used to hit every trade show, right? And so you have a very structured, and now we send other people to trade shows, and you have to train them because, also often somebody walks up, "Oh, pharmacy software, tell us about it." Well, we. And
It's the classic.
And it shouldn't be just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Tell me about your pharmacy.
Tell me about your pharmacy.
Well,
where are you? How many scripts do you
I
fill a
refer
day?
to it as the classic first date mistake. Never talk about yourself. Talk about them.
Yeah, what's unique about your pharmacy? What is different? And then you can lead into what problems you're having. Sometimes if you start off with what problems you're having, it's kind of, "I don't have any problems.
Right.
I'm not a problem." But what's unique about your pharmacy? You can say, "What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? What's next for you?"
Well, it's all about wording there.
But
so
I love it. But
what are
that
your
is
current
about,
struggles?
well, it's not, there's a paradigm shift there, and not just about what you say, but how you think. In one modus, you're telling about something they may or may not need. I love early on there was one, and you go through little phases where people come up and say, "Why do I need Pioneer X?" You might not.
Right.
Tell me about what's going on. You might not. What you're doing might be fine. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? Where do you want to be?
And I mean, how valuable would that 5-minute conversation be to the typical below average pharmacy owner who's struggling trying to figure out what to do?
Yeah. I love the tech marketer. All right, so when are you doing this institute? I like this, and that's what they need. They need to be trained. These aren't, even though somebody has been doing this and repping it, like Mark, "Oh yeah, that's just second nature. That's 101. No, it's not.
It's second nature.
It's like I grew up on Zig Ziglar, and a lot of the concepts about work and about, you need to give somebody everything they should expect from you and then some, and the "and then some" is the success piece. The other piece is just, "Hey, I do the work and I get paid. I
have
grow."
anything in the world you want as long as you help everybody
else get what they want. Yep.
Thank you.
There's Ziggy. So,
yes.
But to me,
about the highlights of my career, I got a chance to golf with Zig Ziglar.
What?
In 1997, 1998.
Wow.
I grew up on Zig Ziglar as well. He's just a great speaker.
How was that? Anything interesting from that? Give us a tidbit from golfing with Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, it was a memorable thing. His son was there, who was actually taking over the Zig Ziglar Corporation. I was working for a trade organization, and we were doing a sales meeting in Dallas, and we ended up hiring Zig Ziglar's company to do the program.
And he showed up.
When you hire his company to get the program, you don't get Zig. But out on the golf course, we closed the deal. So it was fun. So
it must have been fun golf. You must have got lots of encouragement, right? You hit a bad ball. You're like, you can do it.
It's an inside joke, but I bought a set of pants. So
you bought some pants after the golf?
Yeah, I mean, Zig started his career
on selling cookware. Yep.
So you guys have like a whole host of enhanced services that you guys offer: medication synchronization, adherence packaging, compounding, educational opportunities, immunizations, DME, travel consulting, CMRs. So you guys do kind of have a whole host of things that you're able to offer. Are you able to, get that message across when you have patients who are, competing in an Amazon world? Maybe they've tried the Amazon adherence packaging and haven't been happy with the service, or how are you able to compete in an online space with those online competitors?
I can't say like actually spoken to someone that's been like a pill pack customer, like actually, and then stop. More common than not, it's like, well, my insurance has forced me to mail order. I would prefer to be at a local pharmacy, but all my drugs are free through mail order. Which, you kind of have to just, sometimes you just don't know what their drugs are going to be. I mean, they're going to have a copay on most cases, but Sure. It's typically going to be pretty inexpensive. So you just kind of have to just tell them that, well, look what you're getting in your current situation versus what you could be getting if you were to come to us. And I'd try to sell through that, like, we have a full staff, and then we're going to take the time to help you to understand your medications, plus the array of expanded services that we offer whenever you may need them. And then we don't limit those to patients. Those are available to anybody. Certainly if, COVID was great because we had all these non-patients come in that eventually, initially we were so kind of flustered with vaccines and testing. We were we didn't even think about it because we're so busy. But then as things kind of tapered down a little bit, we had some lulls. We were we should be aggressively going after these people that are not in our system. Why, Sure. we're just letting leads come in and go out the door. So then we started everyone that would come in for a COVID test or a vaccine, we started putting marketing material right there at the vaccine table. We kind of dedicated the back of our store. We have a small room, and it's just now it's just the vaccine area. There's another waiting area, and we kind of have an intake station. And we had the room where we, issue vaccines, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. So it looks like that's just going to stay there. But so any patients that come through that are not your patients that may come in for a COVID test or a COVID vaccine, get after them. And if they're not a patient, ask them why they're not a patient. Ask them if they'd ever consider coming to you. So that's one thing. And we've had a couple people turn over, and we've had a couple people say, not right now, but then they come back around.
Yeah.
So, definitely reach out there. I noticed, I think I'm not sure if it was on this series, but another series that we were watching, someone had made a great comment about all the email addresses that you've been collecting through your online signups for testing or vaccines. A lot of people use JotForm or Acuity for an online scheduler, which is kind of, and that's sort of become a whole new service scheduler for independent pharmacies. Now we've listed all of our our Med D consults or Part B consults, and basically, our birth controls, our testing, our vaccines. So anything that is a service, you can kind of sign up for it now, which is good because people can go there and they can make an appointment. But it also forces them to put their information in, including their email. So if you've got, if you're with Digital Pharmacist or if you're with Rx Local, you've probably got a newsletter feature, and you can probably manually add email addresses. So like recently we just dumped like 2,000 email addresses or more from all those signups over the years into our newsletter. And then we put like giant, give us a 5-star review, like right at the top of our newsletter, and have really boosted our reviews online. That's been another big initiative because those reviews really, it's not completely based on how you rank, but it's a big chunk of it. If you've got a lot of positive reviews in your area, it definitely plays in your favor on your SEO ranking when people type in, location, pharmacy. So we've been compensating our staff. Initially it started out, we paid our staff, every time we got a review, we give them a Starbucks gift card. But that kind of started to get expensive because we really started to get a lot of reviews. So now we just done it to it's a once a week thing. As long as we get a 5-star review, sometime during the week, we'll give our staff all gift cards for free coffee. And that's kind of helped because we've got cards around the pharmacy with a QR code that says have a good experience, leave us a review, and they can snap a picture and then give us a review. So that's been a good way to really try to boost our reviews. And we've also added to our newsletter, to, follow us on social media. And then we've also just recently added to our expanded services to go on basically to our Acuity landing page where you can see all of our itemized services and sign up there. So I think just any way you can find. And the good thing about a lot of these are it's low cost. Billboards is going to run you depending on your market, $500 to $1,000 a month for high traffic billboards. Radio it's still pretty expensive, and TV's even higher. But a lot of digital advertising is cheap, and it's like I said, people spend a lot of time looking down at their phone. So I definitely think it's a good bang for buck, and you can really narrow it down specifically to who you're targeting. If you're running a free delivery ad, let's target your older demographic, and that's the kind of the beauty of digital these days. It's just the targeting.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that when you mentioned the open enrollment consults. Being able to target that very specific demographic with a solution that they're probably stressing about, and that can be the difference between you losing a patient, if they end up on a plan that makes them go mail order, versus retaining or gaining a patient.
Yeah, or better yet, it's just helping them pick a plan that is profitable to your pharmacy. There are softwares out there that can show you. I think everyone probably knows what I'm talking about. I don't know if are we allowed to name names here?
Oh yeah. If you found something that works for you, I'd love to share those successes.
I think there's really one. It's just Amplicare, and Amplicare sells it you're going to get a lot of a bang out of it all year round. We don't get as much bang out of it all year round, but we do get a good bang for its buck come open enrollment, because it is a robust program that allows you to see every plan, tailored to their drugs specifically, and then can give them a real easy, digestible, price annually. And that's something you can't really get in a lot of places. Everywhere you go, most times it's going to be a broker pushing a set number of plans. So you're not going to see the whole picture. And that's what we tell people that are interested in that service. And they seem really receptive to that idea that, the word unbiased opinion. Basically, we're not selling insurance. We're just trying to keep their drugs cheap for them and profitable for us.
Yeah. Well, everybody wants to have a guy in their corner, right? So to have my enrollment guy, like a trusted person in my corner that's going to help me, that's great, because you don't know what you don't know. And I feel like there's probably, I can only imagine the stress of like finding out you can't go to your pharmacy, you have to go mail order, or your copays change, and worrying about that. And in the back of your head, having the story, the horror story from a friend of yours who it went poorly, they chose the wrong plan.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people that, that do choose wrong plans. People that come in and we're on, I had one patient, it's like, well, I just wanted to pick this plan. She was paying out of pocket every month for Eliquis. And I said, well, why'd you pick this plan? Well, that's the plan that my husband before he passed always liked. Right. I was like, well, plans change year to year. It's and it changed based on your drugs. And so yeah, people do need some education around that. That's definitely and it can really help your pharmacy if you can coach these people for a plan that meets their needs and a plan that meets your needs.
So any vision, where do you think marketing is headed in pharmacy? Any kind of, if you had to use your crystal ball and say, what do you think the future is going to come? What's more cutting edge?
I mean, I think there's still a lot of growth in social media. I mean, to your point, TikTok is still a brand new thing for a lot of them. We've got, I think, a client or two that's kind of venturing into it, but a whole lot more growth there, because videos are very powerful still, for explaining services, or just, having that one-on-one interaction, making the pharmacy seem more personable. I mean, Facebook is great, but if you don't do any photos of your staff or, any videos or anything like that, it's really hard to distinguish yourself from other pharmacies in the market. So I think there's a lot of opportunity still with social media. I mean, I think in some ways pharmacy is a little behind the marketing trends of, other industries. I mean, I remember when I first started, a lot of them didn't even have Facebook pages, right? Or we didn't even use it for business purposes. And that's changed tenfold now, but.
Well, and another other kind of, this is actually a really good idea that came from a pharmacist, she's not even a pharmacist, she's the lead technician. So shout out to Serena. Her tip, well, it wasn't even a tip, it's just something she started doing in the pharmacy, and the patients loved it because they felt like they were actually engaging with that person. So they use the ARC's local app, but inside they took their Bitmoji off their phone and emailed it to themselves, and then attached it to their profile. So when they message you within the ARC's local app, their Bitmoji pops up instead of just a bubble with their initials in it.
Oh, nice.
And I thought that was a really fun tip, because Serena is known by her purple hair. And so when they see the Bitmoji with the purple hair, they walk in, they're like, Serena. So I thought that was a really cool tip, and I shared that out on our social, on our weekly newsletter that goes out. And I think that's something that people should do, kind of make that, like we always continue to say, is get that sticky connection to that patient, so then they want to engage more with you and not with the pharmacist at CVS or Walgreens. It's like, make sure you get your lipstick and your pills to go. And
that's the keeping them. One of the things that the TikToks, the hope is they're acquiring them. How do you acquire
the new?
The new. And maybe how you leverage the existing. Maybe you could use questions from some of your existing customers. So had a customer this week asked me blank, and talk about that on TikTok. And here's the answer, trying to generate your content.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be a lot of communication this next year, just with, insurance changes and stuff, and the TRICARE thing and everything going on, of just, why use an independent pharmacy? And I mean, that's always been out there, but I think even more so. And, or just educating people on why they can't take an insurance or something like that, because a lot of them don't understand that. And I think sometimes, the pharmacies just get the blame of not accepting the insurance or being more expensive without understanding there's so many other things going on beyond the scenes that is out of the pharmacy's control.
Or if they don't have insurance, and having the ability to go, hey, I can help you get set up on an insurance that's going to help pay for your meds. That's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, and we're also seeing a lot more clients just try to go to like a cash only type model, where it's just, here's our prescriptions at a cash price and not even messing with.
And you can help them with their models, because there's some interesting, more gym type models out there that are, it's hard just to cash on a $2 amoxicillin. So, so more a membership type, here's your membership. It gets these are membership levels where we're doing other things, trying to sell the services. There's a lot of that going on. So a little twist on your marketing lane here. So kind of what I hear you saying is that if I'm going to be successful in business today, let's say pharmacy today, has a lot to do with my ability to, I hate to say personality, but my ability to engage others, right?
I think that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, so whether I'm engaging them on TikTok or engaging them in person or engaging them in the doctors, and that's not only the what, there's some how in there, right? So do you offer, wouldn't it be cool to offer some classes on just, I don't know, talking more with people or engaging
here's how to be an extrovert.
I said how to be an extrovert, but really, I don't know if that's positive attitude or that's more, never split the difference, kind of like how to interact with people. But there's some, whether that's leadership, kind of a leadership class, but you've got to think that there's some class or exercises even.
Yeah.
I was a consultant out of college and we had consulting exercises, how to listen, how to reflect back, to make sure that we had understanding and things like that. So I think if you've decided that for marketing that they have to do that, then I think part of marketing is helping them improve their ability to engage with others as a person. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to develop in your pharmacy a personality. What's the personality of your pharmacy that's attractive? And how do you develop and extend that on social media? It's not enough to post that it's National Pizza Day, right? And just tell them it's National Pizza Day. Come to our pharmacy and have a slice of pizza. Although there's some personality in that if there's fun and you see all your staff eating a piece of pizza, right?
It's okay. So those type of social media engagements is making your pharmacy welcoming, like, hey, we care about our staff, we celebrate, we're a family, come join our family and be a patient here. So be an International Pizza Day, buy pizza for your pharmacy, take some pictures, post it on social media. It's not a waste of time. It's creating a beginning of customer engagement, other than just constantly putting med health tips out there.
But even better, we had free pizza for people who came in today, right? Here's a picture of a happy patient with a slice of pizza.
It's a morale booster
after we filtered for anybody on diabetes.
Hey, you're also
this is the gluten-free pizza. This is the no sugar pizza. This is the
lactose intolerant.
This is the lactose intolerance pizza.
And for our vegetarians,
so basically just some bread and sauce. But.
Yes, vegetarians and yeah.
We are highly promoting not just branding, but say, for instance, marketing your other services on a custom bag. It seems, kind of like, yeah, whatever. They get the bag and they throw it away. Okay. But just as people discussed on your podcast over and over again, you can't just dispense pills. You've got to be doing other services. Okay. So my question is, how do they know you offer point of care? How do they know you offer clinical services? How do they know you offer immunization? So, if you make a nice looking bag, everyone's invested in their websites, their logo, things like that. So why don't you just put that on a bag and have it a clean looking bag? We can print QR codes to get to your refill lab, to RX Local, to whatever. That helps with their workflow on the back end, right? So we just kind of promote that. It's just a small upcharge from buying a generic bag. So anyway, that's one thing we definitely always promote at trade shows is, different ways of, helping them grow their business. It costs them like an extra $10 extra a month to upgrade from a generic bag to their logo bag. So again, they've invested in all these other things. Why wouldn't you market that to your services? Well, how many of your customers walk straight into the counter, get their prescription, and walk straight back out? They may not know you offer a vitamin program. Right. You guys do all the services that they may offer out there.
What are some of the this makes me go down a little bit of a different path then. What's some of the more creative things you've seen and done with some of these pharmacies?
As far as a custom bag?
Yeah, as far as like either custom bags or custom anything when it comes to the print side of the house.
Sure. So on the labels, as you know, you're very limited. The software companies tend to take up all the space right on the labels.
I know, we really do. We kind of bogart it all.
Not the software, it's the states and whatever their guidelines are.
Yeah. So, on your traditional label, you've got like 3/8 inch of a space at the top to fit your logo in there. So someone puts this intricate logo on their website and everywhere, and they're like, I put that on my label. It's like, well, we got 3/8 of an inch. It's kind of, we'll do our best. Or do you have an alternate linear logo? That sort of a thing. So the label side, you're more limited in what you can or can't do. But on the bags, we can do 4-color print. We're not process printing, but we do 4 colors. We can print on the back, print on the sides. Again, add QR code. So it just depends. Sometimes it depends on how creative the pharmacist or their art person is that they hired, that they did with their logo. So we, of course, have our own art department, but oftentimes they're really, that's their baby. They bought into it. They bought these new fancy colors and they like everything about it. And, sometimes we have to let them know that, you could print your fancy logo. It looks great on your website or on a business card because that's a different printing process. But when you're doing spot color print on a bag, we can't always, match it exactly. But, we always send them a proof. And what do you think? So, really what we're promoting, you asked what's new or what's different. Again, it goes back to the QR code and just promoting their alternate services. And that may vary by pharmacy. So, really, we're pumped on the QR code because we want people to use their refill app, which creates time for their staff, right? Everyone's talking about labor and, how do I cut back costs? Well, labor is one key way to cut back costs.
Nice. I remember you did a cap sticker, which I thought was pretty cool. For some of that stuff as well.
Yeah. So we're doing that a little bit. And so these are, we just call them vial cap labels. So they'll fit on anyone's vials, not just ours, but you name your vial company. And the idea started with more about kind of, again, saving some of those phone calls back to the pharmacy or working with workflow. So like they're just circular labels. They're about 1 1/8 inch. So our two most popular ones are same drug, new look, and this is your last refill. So the same drug, new look is, I'm certain your software prints auxiliary label, says this medication may look different color, etc. But we all know not everyone reads those, right? And so what happened is Mrs. Jones gets home and then she calls Mark. Yeah, Mark, this pill is blue. It used to be red. What's up? Oh, Mrs. Jones, no, that's the same pill, whatever. Okay, so now you just took 1-2 minutes out of your day to explain that. Where the same drug, new look label, they just put it right on top of the vial cap. And, you can't miss that thing. It's like looking you right in the face, right? So it says same drug, new look. So right away, okay, I'm at ease. It's just a different generic kind of a thing. Then the other one is our last refill label where, again, someone comes in with an empty vial and says, okay, Mark, I need you to fill this. And maybe they don't understand the workflow behind the pharmacy. Okay, we have to contact the physician. We need to get refill authorization. We can't do this in 5 minutes kind of a thing. So it's just a little reminder for them.
You need to make your appointment with your doctor.
Yes. So that was just some basic stuff we're doing. We are trying to launch the next level of that, where we are going to print, because we have digital printing capabilities at our Arizona facility, which these labels now can have QR codes. They can be more specific for branding. They can talk about immunizations, things like that. So all we're doing now is we can do the labels. Now we have to figure out a way to apply them with a sensor on top of the caps as they're going through our press. So we're dialing that in. We've been working on it for a while. So I'm hoping to launch that by NCPA. So you asked what's new. I always hate to kind of say what's coming and then
not deliver.
Yeah.
So pretty connected to the community. What would you guys say marketing wise? What's anything y'all found that's worked in your communities?
Marketing is a tough thing for us, and they don't teach you a lot of marketing in pharmacy school. And we've tried working with other companies to help us market, and have really not, you can speak, but I haven't really found anything that works other than word of mouth and just people seeing what you're doing. And if I have a patient that comes in and has a great experience in our store, I'll just ask them, please tell your doctor how we took care of you or how we treated you. And the patients telling their physicians how they were treated, I think it comes back 2 to 3, 4-fold on that. And I've had patients come in that have been to the doctor, maybe it's a new doctor, and they're asking, where would you like me to send your prescriptions? And they say Kirk's Pharmacy, and they say, oh my gosh, we've heard nothing but good things about that location.
Nice.
So the kind of stuff that makes me feel good, and hopefully that is
Well, that's certainly marketing. I mean, asking the customer to tell their doctor or to tell their friends, and, just saying, hey, we grow by word of mouth. If you had a good experience today, tell somebody, right?
Well, and I mean, that's kind of what the basis of like Yelp was about, was creating this atmosphere where everybody can go, yeah, this is amazing, you should try it. And that's the best marketing tool ever is word of mouth and references.
Yeah, and that's always, more than 50% of our referrals come from...
More than 50% of our
leads come from referrals.
Yes, more than 50% of our leads come from users referring others. Not to mention, there was a Forbes article that I read that, 89%, it was like 89 or 90, it was really high, of people that they look on Google and they look at reviews, and they're it's not just that they're looking for you, but they're looking for, why do I need to come to you? And so it's that word of mouth and those reviews and that positive word that refers them to come to you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts to help us reach more pharmacy professionals like you.